was good friends with Ted Pryor. We both worked out at Goldship. I was friends with him. And he just came up one day and asked me if I wanted to be in a movie. I said, sure. And David said that slasher films are really big in Lebanon, so that's why the film was being made for Lebanon. I was just told basically I was this manic killer for Sledgehammer and The Mask, and since my part was really restricted, all you saw me was walking up and down hallways and appearing indoors, stuff like that. There wasn't much interaction with me and the rest of the characters. I mean, they were all frightened of me. David directed me exactly what he wanted. We only ran a scene 2 or 3 times to make sure that, know what he wanted. There wasn't a lot of time spent on developing the character.
All right! Woo! We made it! We actually made it! Woo! Oh!
The film was shot in Venice, California. It was in David Pryor and Ted Pryor's apartment. All the inside shots. The outside shots were in Simi Valley, I believe. When we went out to the shoot outside, the only thing we used the house for basically was the stairway. I remember going up and down that stairway several times. I think it was a full week. We began one Monday morning at 5 a.m. and we shoot all day in the apartment. If you look at the film, we're very hot. We're perspiring very much. It was very hot in that apartment because they had all the windows shut, and it was late summer, probably September, October, around there. And for 7 days, all the clothing was ours. The shirt, David provided. So, because they wanted shirts that would basically match with the boy and me. But everything else, pants, shoes, everything were mine. What sticks out to me was when they go from boy to me, then back to boy again. I think that was something. I'm a gay boy, and these were all heterosexuals, and so the joke on the set was, I had a crush on Ted. The joke on the set here is, here's this manic killer who wants to have sex with the star, and so that was the humorous part. Ted's heterosexual, very heterosexual, but he was very comfortable. He wasn't paranoid at all, which was what made us friends. He told me when he first moved to Los Angeles, I was the first gay man he ever met.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll do it your way. But if anything else happens, we hunt this sucker down and tear his head off.
Damn right we do.
I think Ted is a really good actor. But I think he was overacting in this film. I didn't know the rest that much. There was one other gay person on the set, but he was playing a straight boy, so I'll leave that alone. Well, the first one, such a handsome young man and got out of the film so soon. Steve Wright, I think. That's funny about The Killing because the gay politics at the time was we're still in the closet, blah, 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 hiding, blah, 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 blah. and here were these blatant heterosexuals doing everything on the over everybody, and I think that contributed to my character somewhat. Maybe I was a Puritan. I don't know. It was a religious thing. Yeah. I know that was running through my head at the time of the filming. David and brother hired somebody outside of them to film the film for them. The video people, I think, were about 3 people. I think the camera was pretty big, not so big. Ben suggested it might be beta. So it was cheaper than film, much cheaper. Nicholas Imac was the producer. I saw other producers on the film, but I'm not sure they're real. I think they were just put in there. I signed a contract with Nicholas Imac for $900 for my part. I asked him one other time after I signed the contract, was he going to pay me? I think my intuition was telling me it wasn't going to happen. David told me later that Nicholas left the country with the film, went back to Lebanon, and didn't pay anybody. I sort of skeptically accepted that. I'm not sure. I think David was paid. But I don't know. He told me once he wanted to be a millionaire before he was 30. So, I don't know. I felt really let down. I took off a week from work, $300 I lost that week. And it was really hard for me to make it through the rest of the month. And I had expected that money. I didn't have a VCR at the time. They were still quite expensive, $700, $800, and I was going to buy a VCR with that money. One of the reviewers on YouTube calls the film creepy. Not scary, but creepy. Yeah, it is a creepy film. I liked that shot. I'm not sure it was me, but I think it was. When my face is looking through a door, around the door, and you have a sort of close-up of my face. I think it was me, but I'm not quite sure about that. It could have been intended to do that. Some of the things that were just like shadow things, I think Ted was swinging the Sledgehammer and not me, because they knew exactly what they wanted. I love soundtracks. That's what I wish I did. When I was in college, I was a music major. I wish I had gone to a film school instead and learned to score for films. Well, I offered to work on the score, and Ted turned me down. Ted said he's going to write the rest. Listening to recently, it's much better than I remember. I didn't see it until years later. I think they had a screen of it one night, but I couldn't make it. So I didn't see it until years later by myself, once I had a VCR. David eventually gave me a copy of the film on videos, so I watched it later. Well, you know, when you're in a medium and you're working on it, you're not sure what it's going to be like. Why you're working on things, it's going to be a big flop. I know it was a B film to begin with, but to me it was a B minus film. It was very interesting working on the film. It was very interesting being part of it. Because, you know, I think everybody who comes to Los Angeles wants at some time or another to be an extra or something in a film. And so the experience was good. I'm disappointed at not being paid, but I thought the experience was very good. Yeah, I'm surprised at the following. Maybe not, because we're a culture of cults, basically. We all have our cults that we belong to. Future generations always learn from the former generation. And what one generation might think be so-so, I think like Sledgehammer was so-so, now it has great interest because of video. Well, I find it that most of the fans were born in the 80s or the 90s, and this is an era they missed, or they were very small and don't remember. And I find it the same obsession that when I was in the 20s, everybody was talking about the 50s and the 60s. It's that same obsession with the past, that somehow everything was better then. And perhaps it was. I don't remember being as tense 20 years ago as it is now in society. It's fascinating that this is carried on. This is my legacy, huh? This is what I leave in the world.
Now, do me a favor, will you? Get this shit out of here. I gotta go get a beer.